So now that you've selected your itinerary, it's time to submit your trip request. To do that, simply go to the itinerary and click on Request Trip, located right below the suggested sell price. Now, the suggested sell price is the amount that hosts have sold their trips for in the past while making about $1,000 at the minimum number of travelers. We suggest that you sell your trip within this price range for the highest likelihood of success. Once pricing is approved, you can increase or decrease the price to maximize your earnings goals. In the trip request, your first selection will be Trip Package. Itineraries can either have economy, standard, or premium packages, which all come with different hotel star ratings, meal packages, and overall price levels. Some of our economy and standard packages have instant approval dates that are available. This means that your trip will be priced and approved instantly, and you can launch within 48 hours. Next up, it's time to pick your trip dates. In general, it's best to give your audience a good amount of time for a purchasing decision so they can get things like time off work squared away. And that's why we require at least 8 months of a lead time for international trips and 6 months of a lead time for domestic trips. You'll find available trip dates listed on this calendar, and you'll see the ones that are available for instant approval marked in blue. Though it is important to note, we can't guarantee specific dates until we hear back from our operators. After you select trip dates, it's time to choose your dietary requirements for the trip. Available options will be listed on this drop-down menu, and they include vegan, gluten-free, and vegetarian. Now, it's important to note that this will not make the entire trip fit this description, but rather ensure that our operators can make these options available for every meal. Now it's time to choose whether you would like to bring a companion. Everything that's included in the itinerary will be included for you as well as your companions, but it is worth noting that every companion you add increases the base cost of the trip for your travelers. You'll be able to see these cost increases when you click Add a Companion, and the suggested sell price will adjust to cover their spot on the trip. And it's for that reason that we suggest only adding one companion per trip. If you're not sure exactly who you'd like to bring as a companion, but you know that you definitely want someone to join, you can always just put John or Jane Doe as their name with a minimum age of 18. And then you can update that with whoever you decide to bring up to 90 days prior to the trip. Next, you will choose your room configuration under the Your Accommodations section. This also includes pre- and post-trip accommodation options in case you would like to arrive a day earlier than your travelers or stay a day later after the trip ends. In this section, you'll also have the ability to choose how many rooms and beds that you would like for you and your guest. If you will be sharing a bed with your guest, please make sure to select the shared bed option and not the one bed option. Next, you will add on any optional activities that are listed in this section that you would like included on your trip. If you're not seeing any here, that's because not all itineraries come with optional activities. However, if you're seeing optional activities in this section that you would like included on your trip, simply toggle them on. Make sure to include whether you and your companion will be participating in the activity. Hosts can select to have these optional activities available just for their travelers, but you won't be able to opt in later if you change your mind, as this would affect the overall cost of the trip. Some of our itineraries have workshop space that's available. The days that workshop space is available will be clearly labeled along with the maximum rental time period. To add workshop space to your trip, simply toggle it on the corresponding day and let us know how long you would like to reserve the space for. Keep in mind that adding workshop space does affect the final price of the trip, and that's why we recommend that workshops be no longer than 2 hours, both to keep price down and also provide the best experience for your travelers. Hosts are not required to offer workshops on their trips, but it is a great way to add value. And finally, we have our additional requests form, which is only available for our experienced and expert itinerary tiers. This request form is only for itinerary-specific items, such as formal workshop details like time of day, length of workshop, or equipment needed. You can also use this section for removal of an activity or requests to include optional activities in the price of the trip for all travelers. We can't guarantee that every request in this form will be met, and they typically cause delays due to operators having to adjust the itinerary. Please be sure to review all of your selections before submitting your trip request. All selections are final and cannot be adjusted once submitted. If everything looks good to you, go ahead and hit that submit button. It will typically take 3 to 4 business days for your pricing to return from the operators and for the trip request to be fully approved. Please, we ask, be patient with us. Our operators are located in various time zones all over the world and are working hard to deliver an incredible experience to you and your travelers. Congratulations on submitting your first trip request. Once the request has been approved, your sales representative will contact you directly, and then it'll be time to sign the host terms and add your margin.